Is there a road that you drive that feels like the speed limit is just too slow, like it's not even possible to stick to it? If you do, it may not just be your feeling. In fact, it's possible the road shouldn't have that speed limit to begin with. 5 years ago, lawmakers banned speed limits that are not set scientifically. But tonight, a Target 8 investigation found that there are still streets in West Michigan with the old speed limits, and police are writing tickets on them, costing drivers hundreds of thousands of dollars. 24 Hour News 8's Ann Schieber dug through the traffic and the ticket data, and tonight she shows us how cities are getting away with it.
Turning right onto Burton.
Earlier this year in Grand Rapids, Ryan Young got a ticket for going 35 in a 30-mile-an-hour speed zone. The ticket was going to cost more than $100, and he thought it didn't seem right.
I was going the speed of traffic.
So Young got to work. He looked up Public Act 85, the state law that requires cities to set speed limits based on a speed study or access points, driveways and alleys in a given stretch of road.
In this case, there's 27. Under Public Act 85, the speed limit on Burton here should be 55.
He also found the last speed study on the road, done in 1986. It showed most drivers were going more like 40 miles an hour, not 35. Young decided to fight his ticket.
It's a matter of principle that the city thinks that they're above state law.
Young wrote his own brief, but when he got to court, the city had a defense.
Just before state lawmakers passed PA 85 in 2005, the city passed its own ordinance. It declared itself one big neighborhood, making it exempt from state law.
I was put into a position where I had to pretty much argue that the city didn't adopt that measure. So there's really nowhere to go with that. And there was sort of the feeling that all that was missing was the wink and the nod.
A similar thing happened to Charlie Reed in the city of Wyoming.
46 on 25-mile-an-hour zone.
He, too, fought his ticket, spending hours on research. But the judge wanted none of it because Wyoming said this street, a block from an industrial zone, was in a neighborhood. His court costs were adding up.
So you gave up?
I had to. I didn't have $550.
When lawmakers exempted neighborhood streets from the speed limit law, this is what they had in mind, not this.
The safest speed is what the 85 percentile is. What those folks are traveling at is the safest. If you underpost, you actually have more accidents.
We contacted a number of West Michigan cities to see how compliant they were with state law. We heard a bunch of excuses.
They claim they were exempt. The law might be repealed, or they're still reviewing their speed limits.
I mean, PA 85 has been around for at least 5 years now. How long does it take?
In the meantime, cities continue to write speed tickets. In the 5 years since PA 85 has been on the books, Grand Rapids police wrote over 30,000 of them. The ticket costs at least $100, and the city, if it is a local speed ordinance, keeps a large chunk of it.
Let's face it, a lot of jurisdictions don't want to give up the revenue on some of these streets that are underposted, and they can write all the tickets they want.
But the city's traffic engineer denies revenue is the driving force behind unchanged speed limits.
We are doing more and more things to encourage pedestrian activity, encourage bicycles, using buses, the BRTs coming to town. We're looking to become a more multimodal society.
Cities also get a lot of pressure. Neighbors want lower speed limits regardless of how busy their streets have become. The limit on this commuter street is 25 miles an hour, a speed no one is driving. Traffic engineer Christopher Zoll has tried to explain the reasoning behind higher speed limits.
Did they buy it?
Not usually. Until I can show them the crash data that's associated with the speeding problem, their perception is that it isn't unsafe traveling slower or posting it slower.
In 1 year, police have written nearly 500 tickets on Burton Street, where Ryan Young was ticketed. But even the city's traffic engineer seemed surprised by the number of tickets written on the street.
Wow.
That stretch. Would you say that's a speed trap?
It sounds like an enforcement area, absolutely.
Lawmakers are hoping to more carefully define the exemption in the current speed limit law. In the meantime, the state police say they do speed studies for free, but cities have to ask. For Target 8, Ann Schieber, 24-Hour News 8.